Hello, Lou. How are you?
Very good, Katie. Yourself? Are you well?
Yeah, I'm well, thank you.
Good to hear.
These fortnights are flashing by.
Yeah, I mean, as you said in the email, I can't believe it's already, basically it's 8 weeks.
I know. How fast is it?
Oh, that's gone very fast. There's no argument there.
I agree. Normally when people sort of start sort of onboarding a new group at the moment, and so you're sort of getting to know the new people and things, and they always sort of say, oh, I don't think I've got the time to commit to it, and it feels like a lot. But when you're actually doing it, you think, my goodness, like it's just here and it's gone. It doesn't.
Yeah, correct. It's just happening. So it's good. Very good.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like too much of an inconvenience. I say that, but I hope it doesn't.
No, it doesn't. You guys. It doesn't. Trust me.
Hello, Anita, Lord.
Hello.
Louise.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
How are you all?
Good.
Feeling well? Feeling motivated, maybe? Just tired? Feeling flat? How are you feeling?
After a long weekend, long weekend in Victoria.
Feeling good?
Yeah.
That's good.
No, it's good. All good.
Oh, that's nice. It is hard to believe it's already March and we're flying through March as well, but this is the way it is at the moment, isn't it? Tell me, Lourdes, did you manage with your facts question?
Which question? The one with the fact number?
Yeah.
I think I'll just copy the one in the book.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Can I ask, were you just wanting to fax some blood test results or?
Yeah, that's the one, the result.
Got you. Good. So you've had some blood test results?
Oh, not yet. I'm going there.
Not yet. Okay.
Next week,
sure.
Yes.
No worries. Yeah, excellent. That's no problem at all. And Ernest, how have you been? Sorry, mid-tea.
Thank you. All good. Just walking a lot every day, about 10 kilometers.
Fantastic. That's a lot of walking.
Yeah, about 3 hours usually.
Goodness, that's amazing.
It's not in one go. It's three early in the morning, lunchtime, and after work.
Yeah. But as you guys would have, maybe you will remember from the physical activity session that Jane took you through, that's what Jane says. You don't have to do it all in one big block. Yeah. You can break it up across the day. So that's great, Ernest. If that's working for you.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. You're not feeling too tired in the legs? Your legs are still feeling fresh?
I just can't wait when I just can go outside and walk. Because, I'm sitting all the day. I'm working just in front of the computer all the day, and it's very hard.
Yeah.
So, I'm waiting for the time I can go outside and walk. Yeah.
Have a break. Yeah, absolutely. That's fantastic.
And weather is very nice now, so it's good. Good.
Yeah, I agree. Autumn's my favorite time of year. I'm loving this time of year at the moment. It's such a good point to make though, Ernest. I just want to talk to that for a minute. I was speaking again, like I said, I'm onboarding this new group, and I was talking to a lady on the weekend, and she was saying, we were talking a lot about exercise and how she finds it really hard. And I said, why do you exercise? And she said, I exercise because I want my appearance to be better. So she was talking really about the physical attributes of looking slimmer or looking more beautiful or whatever she thought. But as I said to her, I spoke to her and I said, but we need to shift the idea around exercise, because if you are only doing it for the sake of looking better, then very quickly you lose motivation, because it's an external value and it's not enough to keep you motivated, because it's very easy to say, oh, I just don't care if I look bad or good now, Whereas when you turn it around and you make it more about an internal value, just like what Ernest was talking about, and you exercise because you want your heart to be stronger, or you exercise because you want to have stronger legs, or you exercise because you know it's going to prevent you from developing diabetes. These are reasons that don't go away as such. They're more sort of intrinsic value systems. So just like Ernest is saying, he's incorporated this exercise into his day and he looks forward to it. So it doesn't feel like, you know, something else to do. It feels like the part of my day where I can get away from my desk, I can enjoy it. And you know, it's a bonus that I'm also exercising and also possibly losing a little bit of weight, etc. But that's not the core reason as to why I'm doing it. So it's a really good way to look at it, Ernest. I think that's fantastic. So it's great if you've been able to, you know, add it to your day.
For me, it's like a food. You know, I'm hungry for that.
Oh,
So,
that's great.
it's like a necessity already.
Yeah, fantastic. And that means it's becoming a habit. So it's you're creating that new habit. So that's fantastic. Good on you, Ernest. Louise, tell me about you. How's your fortnight been? Good, bad, ugly?
Good. Busy.
Yeah.
Busy with the kids, but really good. Yeah. I've noticed now, like, my clothes are getting a little bit more loose with all my walking, and some, you know, not necessarily just scale changes, but some physical changes, which is nice. That, you know, the positive eating and lots of exercising, just the same as Ernest, just lots of walking. I feel like I'm always walking, which is good. And then been utilising the treadmill now that my hubby's back at work.
Yeah. So you have started, you've been using it, because you told us that you bought that last time.
Yeah.
Yep.
So using it when my son has his morning nap mostly. So getting on there for a good, you know, 4 or 5K and doing that. So it's good. And then I can also see the TV from outside. So that's helpful. So it's because I prefer to get out and be in in the environment. I feel like time goes a lot quicker, whereas on the treadmill, if you sort of staring at the same things. So
yeah, it's good to have something to watch. It keeps you going a bit. Yeah, definitely.
But another good fortnight.
Yeah,
it's crazy to think another 2 weeks has just gone past.
So fast. That's why you've got to make the most of it whilst you're doing it, because it's very quickly over. Louise, that's fantastic. So you're still feeling that, it hasn't added too much hassle to your schedule as such.
No.
Yeah,
I enjoy it. I think it's good, not only, like you were just saying, you know, it's not just about, you know, feeling the way you want to look and things like that. It's also good for the mental health too, you know.
Yeah, 100%. That's right.
So I feel better for it.
Oh, well, that's great. And just like you say, it's an added bonus if your clothes are feeling a little bit looser. That's a nice win as well. Yeah, good on you, Louise. That's great. What about you, Lou? How's your fortnight been?
Look, it's been really good. Diet, as I mentioned last fortnight, diet is really, really locked in quite well now. So I'm finding the self-control elements are very achievable and everything. So I stopped myself from eating too much, which is something perhaps that then I wouldn't have done in the past. I'm a lot more conscious, as I think I mentioned early on. I think one of the first things I said was that portion control has always been a downfall for me.
Yeah.
But I feel as if now that is a lot more manageable. It's a lot more instinctive. It's not onerous. So that goes back to the point in which you were saying before, to find then intrinsic motivation to do things, just because of X. So I'm finding all those things are good. I'm also finding that I've been able to increase my exercising in recent weeks. Again, walking. I'm trying to just walk a lot more consistently. Again, I'm not necessarily trying to do like 3 hours in one hit. Certainly then just trying to walk a lot more and a lot more consistently than what I've done in more like recent years. I'm one of these people, I don't actually weigh myself. I actually avoid scales quite consistently. But I have noticed, just as Louise said, that I noticed just some clothing in recent weeks or so feel a fraction looser, let's say. And that's a great motivation in itself.
That feels good. Yeah.
So far it's been very, very positive. And, you know, don't want to make the big statement, but, you know, I think I'm locked in for a while, which is good. So it's, you know, it's feeling very positive.
Yeah, fantastic. That's wonderful. They're all really positive things to be commenting on. And I think we can all relate, because a lot of us, perhaps in the past have tried, different diets where it's a lot about restriction. It's a lot about, I've got to cut all this out and I can't, consume anything from this food group or whatever it might be. But a lot of the time it feels really punishing and it feels really laborious, as though, like we've really got to, it feels torturous, I suppose. But in all those situations, we feel as though we have let ourselves down because we couldn't stick to the diet.
Yeah.
But the diet is so poor that it has let us down. It's just such a poor diet that there's no way that anyone could stick to it. So I think when we start to reshape our idea about what is required in order to lose weight and to, stick and reduce our risk of different disease, when it doesn't feel like restriction, it's easy. It feels like it's, that I could do this forever. I'm simply just checking in and feeling, do I need to eat more? Yes or no? It's not about denying. So I think that's fantastic, because that's much more sustainable than anything else. So.
As everyone was saying before, it just becomes a lot more intrinsic. And once it's intrinsic, you don't think about it, number one.
Yeah.
You don't have to think, oh my God, what's on the list, what's not on the list, and everything like that. And you just then moderate things gradually over time and you start seeing some benefits.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, that is music to my ears. That's fantastic. Well done, guys. Anita, tell me about your fortnight. How have you been going?
My fortnight was good. Doing my gym work.
Great.
But I had a bit of a back pain.
I
was trying to manage that too, and didn't want to stop my exercising also. Don't know, sometimes it triggers in the gym or what. It was good trying to eat home most of the time, had homemade food.
Yeah, great.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking the other day too that I should start some walking also.
Yes,
especially
definitely.
for my back, that might help for the back too.
That's right. I was just about to say the same thing.
But otherwise, fortnight was good. Yeah,
great. Are you, when you go to the gym, Anita, what have you been doing? Like, are you lifting weights, or or do you have a personal trainer? Or
we got a trainer, group training, and some days strength, other days cardio, so mixture.
Yeah. Okay.
If I do one day strength, then the next day it will be cardio. So
yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Try to go there 5 days and just alternate.
Yes. Yeah. Well, definitely worth mentioning to the group. Yeah. Well, to somebody that you are finding that your back is flaring up a little bit, because a lot of the time when our back is suffering, it's because our core, the muscles in the front of our back, are not actually strong enough as such, and we're doing things that are damaging, that are too sort of heavy, I suppose, on our back. So perhaps looking at tweaking a little bit the types of exercises that you are doing, because you don't want your back to get so bad that then you can't exercise, because then it's very counterproductive in terms of
and I was talking to the trainer today, and I said to him that I will send them the exercises my physio has given.
Good.
Exercises, so that they can put it in that program for me, and that
tweak things a little bit. Yeah, good idea. Yeah, that's fantastic though. Gee, you're going to the gym a lot. It's amazing. So good on you. That's great, Anita. Thank you. Lourdes, tell me about your fortnight.
It was great, and I actually added more activities, physical activities. I put in the physio YouTube. There is one for seniors, and then I also added the dancing workout.
Fantastic.
And I still continue with my walking.
Yeah.
I really like to walk more, and I walk more than what I put in my goal. I said 3 times a week, but I try to walk as much as I can 5 times a week or even more.
Fantastic. Good on you.
Yeah.
Well, that's wonderful. I'm loving that everyone is walking so much. Walking is such an underestimated exercise. I think people think that when they exercise, they've got to really, sweat it out and be doing these sort of big, really intense exercise. But lots of walking is fantastic. So that's great, Lourdes, that you're enjoying that. Good on you. That's wonderful.
And I lost a bit of weight. I do not know. Is it because of walking or being conscious of my diet? We eat good food because my husband cooks very well, but
you're lucky.
he is also very particular with diet. Like we try to put in the right amount, and we cook, meticulously.
Yeah,
But we eat good food. We don't try to have a lot of restrictions.
Yes, that's fantastic. And that's exactly the way that you should be able to eat. So that's great. And look, who knows, it might be that your diet's fantastic, or it might be that you're exercising a bit more. But either way, the combination is really working for you. So that's great.
3 kilos already, 3 kilos.
Lourdes, look out. That is fantastic. Good on you. That must feel really nice. I'm thrilled. That's great. Wonderful. Rajvi, can you hear me if you are there? How are you? You might be muted.
How are you?
Hello, good. How are you?
Can you?
Oh, no.
I'm good. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now, yes.
Yeah. Sorry, just I joined a little bit late.
That's fine. It's totally fine.
Work. Auditing is going on in my company. So,
long days. How are you? How has your fortnight been?
Yeah, it was good. Almost every day I walk like 10,000 steps, and one day I go for swimming for maybe half to 45 minutes. Other than that, every day I walk, and I started eating more of fruits than the regular, eating other food.
Great.
Started including a lot of fruits and the veggies.
Wonderful. That's so good.
Yeah.
Gee, that's great.
Yeah. Changed a little bit of my diet, like from white bread to brown bread, and like portion control, and also a lot of exercise. And I think I lost like around 1.5 to 2 kgs. That's a good thing.
That's a
Happy
fantastic
for that.
thing.
And my waist circumference also has gone down.
That's wonderful. Oh, good on you. Gee, those are big changes for you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, really a big change. Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic.
Thanks for your support.
No, you've done it. I just show up here each fortnight and boss you all around. You guys are the ones actually doing it. So that's fantastic. It's all you guys, because it's easy for me just to give you the information, but you've then got to actually go and put it into action. So that's my part is easy. I'm good at being bossy, so that's fine. Tonight.
We need some someone to motivate us,
Definitely. Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's exactly right. It's hard to do on your own when you're feeling like, where do I start? But as you guys have all shown, it's just these small little steps. It's small little changes. It doesn't have to be big, huge changes. I say this every time, but it's so true. You don't have to make big, huge adjustments to things. It is just a bit of tweaking here and a bit of tweaking there. So you guys have done a wonderful job. So congratulations to all of you. It's a huge effort, really huge effort. Thank you for sharing all of those stories with me. I really appreciate it. Tonight's session is session 4, and it's a bit of we sort of touch on a few different things. So we've obviously so far gone through just the general risks around, dietary related diseases like diabetes and cardiovascular disease. We've obviously gone through all the nutrition stuff and then all the physical activity stuff. So we've sort of gone through the big ticket items. Tonight's session is more so about the other things that can come into play and that can influence the way you eat and exercise and the way that you move through your day. The thing that I want to touch on first is the idea of lapses, okay? Because right at this moment, you guys are in this really nice place of feeling quite secure and comfortable. We catch up each fortnight, so there's a lot of accountability there in terms of, I know I'm going to be seeing Katie in a fortnight, so I'm going to really do my best to exercise lots and eat well and, you know, et cetera, et cetera. Now, session 5 doesn't happen for, what is it, about 4 months or so. So there's a big whack of time. So it's really important that you guys go into this time with your eyes sort of wide open. And lapses are a really normal part of the process. And I just want you guys to also understand that lapses don't need to be the be all and end all, and don't need to end all of your really good work. Okay. So when I talk about lapses, I talk about there's sort of like a brief or a small slip up. So it might be that, you know, just like you said, you've been eating really well and exercising regularly, and then suddenly something happens. Perhaps you've become unwell, perhaps you're sick for a week, and then you think the next week, oh, I can't be bothered getting on that treadmill. I cannot be bothered eating. I just want to eat white bread. I just want to, you know, very quickly things start to feel like they're unraveling a little bit. Okay. And when these things keep happening, then we refer to them as relapses. And very quickly, after you've lapsed once, 6 months later, you've relapsed for 6 months and you feel like you've got to go back to square one again. Okay. But it's really important to acknowledge that yes, lapses happen, and B, they are totally fine. It's when lapses become relapses that we start to need a bit of intervention, okay? So far, you guys have given me a glowing report and have all done an amazing job. Going into this next part, I want you to be aware of how you might lapse, where you might lapse, and what might influence you to lapse. Because when you're prepared for one, they're a lot easier to manage. So some people will say that, you know, oh, I have this friend that when I catch up with them, they always want to go out for, you know, coffee and cake, and I don't want to have cake, you know. So it's a good one to sort of plan for, and to think, when I go out with this friend, I'm not going to have cake because I only eat it because she wants me to. I'm just not going to do it. I'm just, you know, not. Or there might be a family member, or there might be somebody, but identifying the lapses in your life can help you to prepare for them and then manage them a little bit better. Does that sort of make sense? So identifying lapses yourself is a really positive and helpful thing to do. So then in, you know, a month's time, when you haven't seen us for a little while and you're starting to, you know, feel like you're falling off the side a little bit, it just keeps you upright. And if you lapse, it's totally fine. There's no issue there. We just don't want it to become an ongoing relapse. Okay. So identifying your lapse and planning for them is really, really important. And sometimes what can be helpful for people, if you feel like you've been quite structured in the way that you've been eating, planning a lapse can be really helpful too. So you might say, on a Sunday afternoon, I'm going to have a cup of tea and I'm going to have 3 of my favorite biscuits. Okay. So you've planned the lapse, you know exactly what you're going to have. And when it comes to that time, you're going to have it and you're going to enjoy it. And you're not going to feel bad about it. You're not going to stress yourself out about it, but it's just going to take that edge off. So then you're not, just like we were talking about before, you're not feeling really restricted and like you're not allowed to have things, because we have to live a life as well as be motivated for our health and well-being. We can't just say no to all the birthday cake and all the glasses of champagne and all the good stuff in life. You need to be able to have that, enjoy it, and move on. But just because you have birthday cake on a Saturday night, it doesn't mean that on the Monday morning you've unraveled all your good work and you think, I'm just going to throw it all in now. You have the cake on a Saturday night, you eat it, you enjoy it, and you forget about it and move on, okay, and go back into your routine again, okay? Because it becomes a really vicious cycle, this idea of I'm going to eat really well Monday to Friday, and then I'm going to blow it all out the window on Saturday and Sunday, and then I'll start again on Monday morning. It becomes a really vicious cycle that's not very productive. Okay, so have the things you like to have, plan for them, make them really structured. But when you do have them, make sure that you bounce back into your routine again quickly. Okay, is there any questions about lapses? It's just one thing I just like to always highlight and identify. There is actually sorry, before anyone asks me anything, there is an activity too on page 97 in your book about lapses. It's quite a nice one to do because it's just an activity for planning for lapses, just to sort of get your brain working in that way in terms of, what's something that I might like to eat, that I might like to plan for, that type of thing. Now, sorry, any questions about lapses or any stories that anyone's got in regards to a lapse?
I'm scared, obviously, Katie, I'm scared of a lapse because, again, I've lapsed previously. I like the idea of giving yourself, rather than just falling into a lapse, but to actually then structure a lapse as such. But of course, my fear is that I'll enjoy it too much and it'll become normal.
Yeah, absolutely.
Without the guilt necessarily, because again, I've planned for it. So
that's right.
Yeah. So I don't want to necessarily look forward to it, enjoy it, and then go, oh, hang on, I can do that anytime.
Yeah, I think I'll just do this every day now. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, correct.
Do you have something coming up? Like, do you have an event or something coming up where...
Oh, I've got a birthday coming up in a few weeks, but again, I just don't want to do it.
Yeah.
I'm concerned about doing it.
Yeah. And I absolutely respect that. And I think it's very normal to be worried about that because history may suggest that once you have a little bite of whatever it might be, that you'll suddenly unravel and then you'll be just wanting to eat it all.
Yeah.
But
I enjoy it too much. Yeah, correct.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
Correct.
But I think you need to when you feel ready to do so, you need to back yourself in and you need to feel confident and just to say, I am going to have this birthday and I am going to really enjoy it. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to eat the food I want to eat and I'm going to drink the drink that I want to drink. But then at the end of that or the next day, have a moment to reflect and think about, sit in the moment and feel, how am I feeling in my body? Does it feel as good as it did? I bet you it doesn't. And I bet you do actually feel a little bit different and you do feel a little bit more negative about things, because I find that when I have sort of indulged or I've had too many champagnes and I've eaten lots of food and things, I wake up the next day and I think, I can't be bothered exercising. I can't be bothered doing anything. I'm not, I don't feel as good as I like to feel. So when your new normal is feeling good, when you don't feel that way, you don't look for that. You don't want that. You want to feel good again. So I think you'll find that you'll lapse, and that's life. We all should lapse. But I think now that this new way that you're doing things is becoming more of a routine and more of a habit, that you won't just default to your old ways again. You'll actually look forward to getting back up on the train and getting back into your routine again. And you will, because it's important to you. So I would almost say the other. I would say that I bet that you lapse and you enjoy it, but you get sorted again. Because time will tell. But at the end of the day, you have to get back into your routine again, because your health and well-being is way too important. Like, you have to actually now prioritize it. You've lived a life of saying yes to yourself the whole time. Now it's time to prioritize it.
No, that's correct.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But yes, really normal. I deal with lots of clients who feel worried about, entering back into life again, but you have to do it. You have to try it on at least once.
Yeah, that's good. Thank you.
So another one that I just want to comment on, and a lot of you have already spoken about as well, but it's this idea of mindful eating. And I know that we have sort of touched on this before. And mindful eating, I suppose, is a lot more about sort of the way that we eat, not necessarily what we're eating, but the way that we eat. And sometimes we become not mindful when we're in particular situations, and we sort of overeat without actually even realizing. It might be when you're watching, you know, a TV show, or it might be when you're feeling really tired, or it might be when you're with particular friends, or it might be, you know. So generally though, we don't overeat because we're hungry. Okay, we generally overeat because of external reasons. Okay, so it's about, mindful eating is about being aware of actually the food that's going into my mouth, and why am I eating it? Is it just because of the circumstances? Is it because of habit? Is it because of what's going on? You know, really unpacking that and asking yourself why. So, but it takes practice. You know, mindful eating takes practice. It doesn't just happen. And as we've sort of spoken about before, the idea of checking in with yourself, and, you know, if you find that if you eat the whole bag of chips, you know, portioning some out for yourself rather than giving yourself the whole bag, or if you drink the whole bottle of wine, put the bottle of wine away and just have a glass, rather than, you know, allowing yourself the entire bottle, you know. So it's checking in with yourself and really making sure that you are sort of not allowing just things just to be consumed for the sake of being consumed, basically. So there's lots of reasons as to why we might sort of eat mindlessly, is what we call it. So for example, not recognizing the difference between hungry and non-hungry cues. Now, did we talk about HALT, the acronym HALT, previously?
No.
So I'll mention it again. HALT, basically HALT is an acronym where H stands for hungry, A stands for anxious, like you're sort of wound up, L stands for lonely, and T stands for tired. So when you are, if you're somebody that tends to go to the fridge and look for food, a really good way to manage it is to ask yourself the HALT acronym. Am I hungry? Am I anxious? Am I lonely, or am I tired? If you're anything but H for hungry, you need to close the fridge door and walk away and find another strategy to manage what's going on for you. It might be going and having a walk. It might be going and having a nice warm shower, or doing something else, because generally a lot of people, what they will do is they will look to food for comfort. And that's okay. I mean, of course, you know, we all love comfort food in terms of, you know, if we're feeling cold, or, you know, those types of things. But if you're consistently eating for non-hungry reasons, it will be very hard to manage your weight. Okay. So it's really important to be looking at the HALT acronym and asking yourself, why am I actually eating? What is going on here? Is it habit? Is it something other than hunger? But that's hard. That takes a bit of work to practice as well, but it's a good one to get used to. It's really important to remember that food will not fix an emotional problem. It generally just makes us feel a bit worse. We sort of go around a bit of a vicious cycle and then feel really guilty and annoyed that we've eaten it, and it all just sort of unravels a little bit like that. So other reasons why you might eat mindlessly are not stopping to listen to what your body is telling you. So are you full? Have you got food up to your eyeballs? Are you chock-a-block? Stop eating, you know, listening to those cues. Confusing hunger and thirst, a really common one. If you're not drinking enough water, sometimes what you actually are is thirsty. So sometimes that can be helpful too. Allowing yourself to get too hungry. This is a really important one. If you're not eating regularly throughout the day, let's say you've skipped lunch and you haven't eaten since breakfast, it'll get to 5 o'clock and you will destroy the kitchen because you're starving. So that's a really common way to overeat, because of course you're trying to overcompensate. You're thinking, I've got to eat because I'm so damn hungry. So eating regularly is really important to stop that big overeating at meal times that can happen. Eating in case you might get hungry later. Some people, you know, get in this fear of being hungry. It's okay to feel hungry. It's actually quite a good thing for you. So don't be afraid of feeling hungry. Eating in response to emotions, eating because you're tired, eating because you're bored, you know, all really common reasons. But if the most of the time you are eating because you are hungry, that is the best approach. Okay. But again, it does take practice. So let me just make sure I'm getting through all this stuff. So yeah, of course, how to actually try and eat mindfully, though, just like I said, it takes some practice. So eating small and regular meals every 2 to 3 hours, eating regularly. The HALT acronym, use that to sort of test yourself as to how you are actually feeling. Don't eat distracted. So if you're somebody that takes food to the couch to watch, and, you know, it's very hard to be paying attention to your own hunger or fullness cues when you're watching TV or, you know, doing something else. Really try to sit and eat and enjoy the meal and listen to what your body is telling you. Are we full? Do we need to stop eating? Eat slowly. So common for people just to really shovel food in and then suddenly think, I've eaten 15 buckets full of food and I had no idea, you know, because I have just shoveled it in. So slow down. Really important one. If you find that you are a fast eater, for some people, counting your chews can be quite helpful. I know it sounds a little bit silly, but we really should be aiming for around 10 chews per mouthful. And some people will be lucky to get through 3. A lot of people just go bang, 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 swallow, bang, 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 swallow. So it's really important to slow down, actually count your chews and digest the food, you know. Don't go for seconds until 20 minutes has passed. It's a really good one, that one. I like that one because it's structured. But if you finish your meal and think, I'm just going to go straight up to have seconds, sit and wait. Let the food actually hit your stomach and let your brain recognize whether you're still feeling hungry or not. If in 20 minutes you're still hungry, perfect. Go and have something to eat. But don't just finish your first plate and then go bolting for the bench to go and get more, okay? Wait and see how you're actually feeling. Some people, does anyone meditate? Has anyone tried meditation?
Yeah.
Tell me your experience, Anita.
Mind goes everywhere.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, meditate. So,
yes.
But it's good. I think if you can, then it's really, you feel the whole body. I had whole body feeling very relieved and no tension in the mind. I sometimes I do breathing exercise too. That pranayama, they call it.
Yeah.
Very helpful.
Yes.
I find it helpful too.
Yes, definitely.
But with the meditation, when I start, mind goes everywhere. All the thoughts come in. And
yeah, that's right.
Hard to control.
Yes,
that's what I find.
Yeah, absolutely. And I totally relate to that. I'm exactly the same. Anyone else had any experience with meditation?
I have, but it's a prayer meditation.
Yeah, good.
Yes. And well, you need really to focus on one thing, and you know, distractions come in.
Yeah.
But still you have to go back to where you started and
bring yourself back.
Yeah. But the feeling of the body being relaxed, I think, comes in.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. There's so much really great research now coming out around the benefits of meditation. And it is a practice, like it is something that you actually need to keep trying at it. And I completely agree, Anita. I will sit down and try and meditate for 1 minute and I am just going, brrr, my brain just goes into overdrive. And I think more than when I'm just being normal during my day.
Something else.
That's right. So But when I speak, I've got a girlfriend who is heavily into meditation, and she says, no, you need to just stick at it. You need to keep trying it. So I am keep continuing to try it, but it's such a good one for that idea of making you present, and particularly when it comes to food, bringing you present, and so you can stop and enjoy the food that is in front of you, rather than like what we're all doing, which is 15,000 things at the same one time. There is a really good app for those who like apps, which I like to use, is called Insight Timer. So it's full of free meditations, and some are short, some are 3 minutes, some are 45 minutes. But there's also really good ones as well, Louise. I forget how old your kids are, but my girls quite like to have them to go to bed at night time just to sort of listen to. So it's got some really nice kids stories and just nice quiet stories and things, but also good ones for adults. If you are somebody that struggles going to sleep, there's lots of good calming stories and things on there. So Insight Timer is a really good one. It's free and it's just got lots of good stuff on it. But I do, like, if you are somebody that's curious, I think give it a go. Like, it's definitely, the benefits far outweigh. And even if you are like Anita and I, and your brain's going a million miles an hour, that's okay. That's the point of it. We can't all be good at it as soon as we start. But just finding a minute or two in your day, you will reap so many benefits. Which leads me to the next thing. Another reason why we can at times overeat is because of stress. Now, stress is such a big one for people, and I think that we have obviously experienced such huge amounts of stress in the past couple of years with COVID and things. It's been a pretty murky time. But stress is another one for some people why they might sort of overeat or choose poor foods. So if stress is something that really is playing in your mind and in your life at the moment, again, I implore you to try and find some strategies that can be, that are helpful. And that might be going and seeing a psychologist. That might be, which is exactly what I did. I was feeling so, I don't even know what, I was feeling just all over the shop during COVID and homeschooling and trying to work and I had never seen a psychologist before, but I love it. I still see her and I loved seeing her, and just having that opportunity to talk to somebody who's removed out of my circle, who's not somebody who's in there and with me. There's somebody who I feel I can talk to really openly because they don't really know the players, if that makes sense. So if you haven't done that before, it's really beneficial and just gives you some good perspective on things. I think we can all do with an extra person to sort of talk to. Of course, exercise is such a wonderful way to manage stress. So you guys are all doing that a lot at the moment as well, which is fantastic. So that's really good. Meditation is so good for stress, for that type of thing as well. Booking a holiday, if we could all just book holidays all day, every day, we all would. That's another really nice way to try and manage stress. I think... But yeah, I mean, stress is a really personal thing, so I'm not gonna sort of go into it all with you. But if it does ring bells for you and you feel like, yeah, I need, I think I do drink more when I'm stressed, or I do eat poorer food choices when I'm stressed, then trying to fix. It's important to look at the stressors and what are the things that are triggering that stress, and really trying to work on that, because the other stuff will be much harder to manage when you're not actually dealing with the problem at hand. So stress is another one that can be a bit of a trigger as for why people choose the foods in which they choose. So if that resonates with you, yes, you can go and see your GP, and you can go and get, a mental health plan, and they give you 6 sessions or whatever it is, and it's a great one. But yeah, so obviously exercising regularly, relaxing, eating well, sleeping well. That's what brings me to the next one. Tell me, how do you all sleep? Louise, you're little kids. Yeah, this is probably...
I wish I slept for 8 solid hours.
I
We've just had 2 nights of... My daughter's been sick. Yeah, she just from 3:30 to 5:30 she's been sick, and it's like, oh God.
You think, when is this going
But
to
it is,
end?
it's so important. I feel like when I'm super tired, I just constantly feel hungry all the time, but I'm not, I'm just tired, probably / bored, you know, like, so, but it is, I really have noticed it's such a huge one.
Such a huge one.
Huge.
It's really hard when you're sleep deprived. I work a lot with shift workers, and it's a huge one for them because, of course, they're so sleep deprived and they eat because they're tired. So their body is trying to get some energy, but what they just need is sleep.
Sleep, yeah.
You know, and it's exactly the same thing for you, Louise. Like, you need to just sleep between 3:30 and 5:30. You know, like not having enough sleep can just totally throw a day into disarray.
Absolutely.
But of course, your life won't remain like this.
No.
You will eventually get that sleep back. And God, it's going to be good when you do.
I can't wait.
It will. That's right, Lou. It'll come. Hang in there.
I know, we're so close. My son is 7 months and my daughter started sleeping through at 9 months. So we feel like we've done 7. We've probably got 2 to go. Come on.
Oh my God, Louise, I'm sitting here because my 4 and 6-year-old, 6-year-old and 4-year-old both still wake twice a night. That's just amazing. If you've got 9 and 7-month-old, God. Well, my husband just snores the house down next to me.
Yeah.
So what about us, little kids aside, what about the rest of you? How do you all sleep? Do you sleep well? Do you pace all night? What happens for you?
Well, my sleep is interrupted because I have to go to the toilet. That's the problem.
That's another one. Yeah. And do you find that when you hop back into bed, do you go back to sleep or do you lie there?
It takes a while. It takes a while.
Yep. Absolutely. That would be a good time for your prayer meditation, Lourdes, when you're trying to go back to sleep.
I try to go back to sleep. And so when sometimes I could sleep a little bit late and I get up late, but at least because I don't work anymore.
Yeah, you've got that luxury.
That.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. Yeah. Tell me about you, Ernest. Do you sleep well?
Like a baby.
Oh, do you? Not Louise's baby, though.
Babies wake up in the middle of the night.
I need 7.5 hours, and I usually go to bed at midnight.
Oh.
And from midnight to 7:30 or 7, it's enough for me. And
fantastic.
I feel perfect. But if I would go before midnight, 11 or 10, it will cause a trouble for me.
Yeah.
5 when I have my 7 hours of sleep, and that's it.
Fantastic.
So, I have to manage my time.
Yeah,
the style. But it's okay. 7.5 hours. It's plenty.
Oh yeah, it sounds amazing. That's
And because I'm working from home, I need to go anywhere just for the walk. So
yeah, that's right. And have you felt that your sleep is even better since increasing the amount of walking? Has everyone found that?
Yeah, it's. But I never had a problem with sleeping, so
yeah, okay.
I can't compare. But I definitely would tell you that a glass of wine before when you have a dinner helps a lot.
Yeah. See, Louise, you just need to drink more, and then you'll be right.
Yeah. So
I'm not even really a drinker, so.
It kills
2 birds.
Yeah.
That's right. We've got both extremes. We've got Louise, who's just up all night, and Ernest, who's just snoozing away. That's great though, because honestly, if you can get away with having a good night's sleep, it makes such a difference to your following day. And you'll find that when you are tired, you make poorer food choices and you look for food because you're sort of looking for something, like, I just want something. But actually your body's just screaming out for sleep as such.
Yeah.
But it's on those days, the days when you are extra tired are almost the best days to be doing your exercise, because exercise is never the thing that's going to make you feel more tired. It's the thing that's actually going to kick you up again and make you actually feel a bit more alive again. So those are almost the harder days, but
It's so true. Today I felt like such a zombie.
Oh yeah.
And I couldn't function this morning, and I was just grouchy. And then when my son went down, my daughter and I went for a walk, and then I came back. I said to my husband, I feel normal. I feel a little bit more human now, like it's fresh air, a little bit of sun, and
I can manage my day a bit.
Yeah, I'm alive.
Yeah. Well, I hope you get to crash hard tonight, Louise. But yeah, you felt alive for a few hours at least.
Exactly.
But if you do find that, sleep problems also really need to be managed. Like if you find that you're not sleeping well consistently, and it's not because of a child or something like that, definitely go and speak to somebody, because it's a really important one to sort of get on top of. What about you, Lou? You're shaking your head like, yes,
Yeah, look, the stories are all very, very familiar that I'm listening to.
Yeah.
I find I sleep quite well most of the time. I may have like one poor night's sleep every couple of weeks, whatever. And it's often work related and just the brain won't shut down.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And I'm just thinking, oh yeah, you're going to do that. Oh yeah, and then so other than that night, most other nights I sleep well. It's
great.
It's like 7 hours. Occasionally, like again, you've got to go up and go to the toilet.
Toilet things.
But, those things happen. But look, I sleep quite consistently. 6.5, 7 and a bit. And that's normally fine most days. That's normally really good most days.
Yeah.
So I can't like fault a lack of sleep for the reason why I do the things that I've done in the past. It's more the fact that I sleep relatively well, and I still go and eat it.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah,
it's
exactly.
The other way around.
Yes. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And that's great. Goodness. Yeah. Again, you're very lucky if sleep is not an issue for you, because goodness me, it can be so debilitating.
Yeah,
I find that, yes, that's why I want to start practicing meditation more, because I don't have any time in my day to go through things. So that's my problem, is that when I do get woken up during the night, I'm a bit like Lourdes in that I am then awake and I just lie there and become really irrational at 2 a.m., like go through my job list and go through what I didn't do and, just waste time when I should just be asleep. So that's why my goal when I next see you guys at session 5 is going to be that I have done more meditation, because that's what I need to work on. So, guys, in this booklet as well, there's a few, just some few good readings as well, just in here, just about mindfulness, just about sleep habits. They're really easy reads, but would be quite good for you guys to have a bit of a look at as well. And there's also... you can look at sort of just reaffirming your physical activity goals. There's this on page 109. It just talks about your physical activity goals. So if you find that when we first spoke at our introductory sessions with our one-on-ones, that you've actually increased just like Lourdes said, she originally said she was going to do 3 walks a week. Now she's doing more. Feel free to write down your new goals and how things have changed for you. I think really solidifying the goals again at this time will be really beneficial for you, because then we'll catch up again at the 6-month mark. So if you're feeling good and the exercise is feeling, like it's really in your routine and habits now, then lock it in. Write down those goals and let's improve on them. It's fantastic. So there's physical activity on 109, and then there's eating and food on 110. And what I am going to do is Here at this point, what Diabetes Victoria? So, of course, as you guys know, this program is free. But what I do expect from you guys is that you complete a questionnaire for me. This questionnaire basically is all about how you've been going along for these past 8 weeks. And it's exactly the same questionnaires as we would have gone through together at the intro session. So it's just so I can compare the data, so I can see how you were tracking at the intro session, what's changed, has this program had any effect on you as such. Now, the only trouble is that I'm going to harass you for them, because once we've had session 4, Diabetes Vic need them within a week just to keep the group progressing forward. Okay, so I will, if I get a chance tonight, I will send you the link to, I'll send you the questionnaire. If you guys could just make it a priority to get it done and emailed back to me in a week, I would be forever grateful. But I will just harass you until you do it, so you may as well just do it. That would be really helpful. Thanks, Lou. And you don't need to print them off. You can just open the document and do the questionnaire on your computer, and then just save it again onto your desktop and then email it back to me. So don't worry about trying to print it off. And I think on the front page, it'll say something like your participant ID or something like that. Don't worry about that, because that's all at my end. So don't start going through paperwork trying to find your ID. So if you guys could do that, that would be amazing. Now, even though we're not now catching up until, goodness, I probably should have had this date organised for however long, you guys can still reach out to me. So still always feel free just to send me an email and say, oh, Katie, you know, this is not going well at this time, or this is going really well. You know, I always love to hear from you guys and hear what you're up to and what's happening. So don't feel as though you can't approach me during the sort of, you know, the downtime as such. I'm always very willing to help and to listen. So we are catching up on the 28th of June. So if you would like to just make a note of that somewhere, but of course I will email you guys as we get closer to that time. So don't feel like you've got to worry too much about that. But that's when we will catch up. So mark it in your diaries and things, so then you know what to work towards. And yeah, just keep doing what you're doing. It'll be hard at times. You won't want to do it at times, and that's okay. It's really normal. You'll have good days and you'll have really crappy days. That's fine. As long as the majority of the time you're doing your very best, that's all we could ever ask. So is there any questions about all of that information that I've just dumped on top of you? Very good. Alrighty. So yes, please send me an email at any time if you've got any questions or anything's unclear, and I will thoroughly look forward to seeing you all at the end of June. And I will stalk you until you send me your questionnaires. Okay? See what I mean? So bossy, so bossy. All right? Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
I'll see you really soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.